Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers, and dear students, welcome. In this class, we are going to see the conversion of interrogative sentences from direct into indirect speech. Recording interrogative sentences in English, there are two kinds of questions. One, questions with WH words, question words. That is with what, when, where, which, who, whose, how, etc. Questions with the WH words. Second part is questions without WH words. There are two kinds of questions in English. In this class, we are going to see the conversion of direct questions into indirect questions of questions without WH words. Questions without WH words are or what are the rules to transfer direct into indirect speech? Come, let us see what are they. Grammar, direct and indirect speech. Part 4a, interrogatives, conversion of direct into indirect speech. Questions without a WH question words. Video 249, dated 7/4/2024. Direct and indirect speeches. Interrogative sentence. Rules for converting interrogatives from direct into indirect speech. As I have already told you, in interrogative, there are two kinds of questions. Questions without WH words, with WH words. That is questions with what, when, where, why, which, who, whose, whom, how, etc. And questions without this WH words. That is, do you, does he, did you, have you, has he, etc. That we are going to see. In this class, we are going to see the rules regarding conversion of uh, uh, direct speech into indirect speech. Questions without WH words. That is the rules for converting questions without WH words into indirect speech. See, rule 1. Rules for converting questions without WH words into indirect speech. Rule 1. The reporting of said do or said should be replaced by asked or inquired or inquired. Any one of these three verbs can be used as the reporting verb. First, he said to me. Said to me, asked. The reporting of said to has been, have been changed into asked. Rule 2. Quotations marks should be removed and the conjunction if or whether be placed there. That is, secondly, the quotation marks should be removed and the conjunction if or whether, any one of the one, if or whether can be used as the conjunction of the interrogative sentences. Sentences without WH word. He asked me if, etc. Then third verbs. Regarding verbs, there are a lot of fools that we go to say. Questions with the verbs. That is, I have divided into two parts. The questions without WH words have been divided into two parts. One part having beavers, am, is, are, was, were. Another part is the questions not having the beavers, but having do, does, did, cow has heard, will, would, shall, should, may, might, can, would, must, etc. Now, I go divide these questions into two parts. First, we are going to see the conversion of questions having the auxiliaries do, does, did, etc. First, these questions with the verbs do, does, did, have, has, heard, will, would, shall, should, can, would, may, might, and must. Rule 1. If there is a do or does, it should be dropped and the main verb be changed into its past tense. See, he said to me, do you study English? Conversion. Said to has been changed into asked. Then quotation marks have been removed and the conjunction if. You can use if or whether. Here I have used if. Conjunction if have been used. Then the auxiliary do is dropped and the main verb study has been changed into its past tense studied. Studied. Remove do and change the main verb into its simple past. Studied. Then recording persons the subject. Here is you. Is second person refers to the hearer. Here is first person singular. So you have been changed into I. Then there is no pronouns or adverbs to be changed. Okay. Again, questions having do or does. The do or does should be drawn, and the main verb should be changed into its past tense. He said to me, "Do you study English?" Said to asked. Conjunction if. Do is a trap, and the verb studied has been changed into its past studied. Use the subject to use second person refers to here, so it has been changed into I. The subject of me is I. Okay. He said to me, do you study English? He asked me if I study English. Second, he said to me, does your sister study English? Said to asked. Conjunction if. Does is removed. Does is dropped. And the verb study has been changed into studied. It's a simple past. Your refers to the hearer, me. Your possessive, the first person singular possessive is my. So your has been changed into my. That's all. Then there is no words to be changed. So he said to me, does your sister study English? He asked me if my sister studied English. Then if there is a did, it should be changed into had and placed after the subject and the main verb be changed into its past participle. That is into past perfect. See, questions having did. The did should be changed into had and placed after the subject. And the verb and the main verb should be changed into its past participle. Okay. Said to asked. Quotations if conjunction. Did have been changed into had. Have been changed into had and placed after the subject. And the main verb to study has been changed into its past participle studied. Then the subject you refers to me. Here I. So you refers to me. So you is the subject. So the subject for me is I. So you have been changed into I. then there is no word to be changed. He said to me, "Did you study English?" He asked me if I got to study English. If there is have or has, it should be changed into had and placed after the subject. That is, if there is has or had in the question, that is has or had should be changed into had and placed after the subject. And the verb there would be in if there is would be in past participle. There should be kept as it is without any change. See, he said to me, "Have you studied Hamlet?" Said to asked. Conjunction if. How has been changed into had and placed after the subject had. And there is no change in the past, which is in past participle. That's all. Then subject you refers to the here and me. So you have been changed into I. Answer is said to me, "Have you studied Hamlet?" He asked me if I had studied Hamlet. He said to me, "Have you studied Hamlet?" He asked me if I had studied Hamlet. That is, here I have used have. In the second example, I have used has. He said to me, "Has your sister studied Hamlet?" He said to me, "Has your sister studied Hamlet?" Hamlet said to us, conjunction if. Has been changed into had and placed out of the subject. So, sister, my sister. And everything has been kept as it is, as they are. Your refers to the here and me. Your is in possessive. So the possessive for me is my. That's all. So the answer is, he said to me, "Does your sister studied Hamlet?" He asked me if my sister had studied English. Studied Hamlet. He said to me, "Yes, your sister studied Hamlet." He asked me if my sister had studied Hamlet. If there is a had in the question, the had should be placed after the subject without any change. And every recording verbs, everything should be kept as they are. He said to me, "Had you studied Hamlet then?" Said to as conjunction if had, without any change placed after had. That's all. Then subject refers to me, and the subject for me is I. So you has been changed into I. He said to me, "Had you studied Hamlet then?" He asked me if I had studied Hamlet then. No change. Because it is a past perfect. So if the direct, if the direct speech in past perfect, there is no tense more than past perfect. So the past perfect has to be kept as it is. He said to me, "Had you studied Hamlet?" He asked me, "Had I studied Hamlet?" So we goes in the first one we saw do, does, did. In the second one we goes in have, has, and had. And third one, if there is will or can or may, if there is will or can or may, it should be changed its past tense and placed after the subject. Will, can, may. Example. He said to me, "Will you study English tomorrow?" Will you study English tomorrow? Said to as the conjunction if. Will. Will should be changed into would and placed after the subjects. So will has been changed into would and placed after. Then verb, recording verb, there should be no change, should be evicted. Then the adverb tomorrow has been changed into the next day. That's all. So he said to me, will you study English tomorrow? He asked me if I would study English the next day. Then here I have used will. Here I have used can. So said to asked conjunction if can has been changed into good and placed after can has been changed into good and placed after the subject I. Then there no change in the verb has been effected. No change should be effected according other verbs. Okay, tomorrow, adverb, the next day. Answer, he said to me, can you study English tomorrow? He asked me if I could study English tomorrow. He asked me if I could study English the next day. Then May, in the May, he said to me, may you study English tomorrow? Said to asked. Conjunction if. May. May is changed into might and placed after might after the subject. And the verbs are kept as they are. Then the subject you refers to the second person refers to the hearer, it is me. So you has been changed into I. So the answer is, he said to me, may you study English tomorrow? He asked me if I might study English the next day. He asked me if I might study English the next day. So will would can would may might should be changed and placed after the subjects. Then day. So this because in answer. Do does did go has had. Then will can might. Then in the fourth in the fourth part, we are going to see then shall. If there is shall, it should be changed into would, not into should. Shall should be changed into would, not into would. So and placed after the subject. He said to me, shall I study English tomorrow? Said to asked. Conjunction if shall is shall is changed into would and placed after the subject he. Shall is changed into would and placed after the subject. Then other things, other verbs are kept as they are. Okay. Then the subject I. I first persons refers to the speaker. So I is the speaker is he. So I is changed into he. I has been changed into he. The answer is, he said to me, shall I study English tomorrow? He asked me if he would study English the next day. Then part E, that is regarding the verbs would, should, could, and might. What are the rules regarding these verbs? Regarding these auxiliaries. If there is would or should or could or might, it should be simply replaced after the subjects. This auxiliary should placed replaced after the subject. He said to me, would you study English tomorrow? Said to as a conjunction if. Would is, I mean, would is placed after the subject I. Then no change in the verb. Then the subject you refers to here first person. So you first person singular. So you has been changed into I. The answer is, he said to me, would you study English tomorrow? He asked me if I would study English the next day. Similarly, here could. He said to me, could you study English tomorrow? The answer is, he asked me if I could. Could you? Is changed in I. He asked me if I could study English the next day. Said to asked. Conjunction if. Could is replaced after the subject. You refers to me, so it has been changed into I. Then might. He said to me, might you study English tomorrow? Said to asked. Conjunction in. Might is replaced after the subject. And other verbs are kept as they are. You refers to me. So the subject for me is I. So you has been changed into I. Answer is, he said to me, might you study English tomorrow? He asked me if I might study English the next day. Then, if there is must, regarding if there is must, it should be changed in the head to, and placed after the subject. And the verb and the main verbs there should be kept as it is. Must should be changed into head to and placed after the subject. But the verb already existing there should be kept as it is. No change should be effected regarding that main verb. He said to me, must I study English tomorrow? Said to asked. Conjunction if must is changed into heard to and placed after the subject heard. Must is changed into heard to and placed after heard to. And no change has been effected in the existing main verb study. Then auxiliary, adverb tomorrow has been changed into the next day. Okay, this is the verse. Okay, so the answer, he said to me, must I study English tomorrow? Indirect, he asked me if he heard to study English the next day. See, dear students, the subject of the direct question is I. The subject of the direct question I, first person refers to the speaker. First person refers to the speaker. The speaker is he. So I has been changed into he. Again, my dear students, recording direct and indirect speeches in the first person in the quotations refers to the speaker. The second persons within the quotations, the first person in the reported sentence refers to the speaker. Second person in the reported part refers to the hearer. So first persons should be changed according to the speaker. Second persons should be changed according to the hearer. If there is a third person, there should be kept as it is without any change. So he said to me, must I study English tomorrow? He asked me if he had to study English the next day. So, my dear students, so far we have seen, six rows. That is the first one, changing do, does, did. The second, three rules. Do, does, and did. Then the second one is regarding have, has, had. Questions have, has, had. Then questions with will, may, can. Then questions with um, would, questions with the shall. Then questions with would, should, could, might. Then questions with must. All the things you are saying. In the B part, we are going to say the rules for conversion of questions having the B verbs. Questions with the auxiliary B verbs. Am, is, are, and was. Questions with the verbs am, is, are, was, and were. If there is am, it should be changed. Say, if there is am, it can be changed uh, it can be changed into it can be changed to was or were according to the subject of the indirect reported part. And could be changed either to was or were according to the subject of the indirect speech reported sentence. See, He said to me, am I playing well? Here is am. He said, am I playing well? Said to am. Conjunction if. Then the subject in the reported part is I. In I. When it is converted into indirect speech, the I is changed to he because it I first person refers to he, the speaker he. So I is changed into he. As in the indirect speech, the subject is he. Is person, the persons of am is was. As the subject in the indirect speech is singular, that person singular, he singular, am has been changed into was. And the verbs and other verbs are kept as they are. So he said to me, am I playing well? He asked me if he was playing well. Because here the I refers to he. So he asked me if he was playing well. In the second part, say, you said to me, am I playing well? You said to me, am I playing well? You see here, said to ask. Conjunction in. Here, you see, here I. Here the subject is I. It refers to the speaker he. So it has been changed to he. In this example, the subject is I. It also refers to the speaker you. So I is changed into you. I is changed into you. So you both for singular and plural. In English, both for singular and plural in the second person, only plural verb is used. So the plural of the past plural of am is were. As here the subject is you, past beaver were has been used here. Because see, the simply the rule is if the present if the verb is in present tense, it should be changed into simple past. It is so. But according to verbs, if there is am, it can be it may be changed either to was or were according to the subject of the reported sentence. So he said to me, am I playing well? He asked me if you said to me, am I playing well? You said to me, you asked me if you were playing well. You asked me if you were playing well. Here the subject is I. It has been changed into he. As he is singular, represents singular, am has been changed into was. Here, I, singular. It refers to the speaker, you. You second person. Either singular or that doesn't matter. So, am has been changed into were and placed after the subject. Then, regarding is, if there is, it should be changed into was and placed after the subject. No problem at all. He said to me, is your brother playing well? Said to asked, conjunction if. Then is changed into was and placed after the subject. Is it changed into its past tense was and placed after the subject. My brother was. And regarding other verbs, there is no change. Here, you are the subject in the position. Your brother is changed into my brother. Your refers to the hearer me. So, possessive for me is my. Yours refers to me. The possessive for me is the object. Is the possessive is my. So your Your has been changed into mine. The answer is, he said to me, is your brother playing well? You asked me if my brother was playing well. Your brother is changed into my brother. Is your brother playing well? If my brother was playing, singular. If there is R, if see, if there is R in the question, it can be changed either to was or were, according to the subject of the reported part. See, R can be changed either to was or were, according to the subject. He said to me, "Are you ready?" Said to asked. Question C. If the in the direct speech, the subject is you. It changed into I in the indirect speech. You refers to the here and me. So the subject you is changed into the first person single I. So the past singular beaver is was. Past singular beaver is was. So R is changed into was and placed after the subject was. The answer is, he said to me, are you ready? Are you ready? He asked me if I was ready. He said to me, are you ready? He asked me if I was ready. Yes, here the you refers to the here and me. So it is singular. See, in the second example, he said to me, are your parents ready? He said to me, are your parents ready? Here the subject is, here subject in the direct speech is you, but when it is, but in the indirect speech, you gets changed into I. You gets changed into I. Singular. So was. Here the subject is, I mean, said to as conjunction. Here the subject is your parents. Your second person is changed to my, associating with the here. Your my parents plural. Your parents, my parents. Your person direct speech. My parents indirect speech. So are your parents? You see, my parents were plural. So as the subject is plural, my parents. This R is changed into were and placed after the subject. That's all. So the answer is, he said to me, are your parents ready? He asked me if my parents were ready. So here, in this sentence, are you ready? The R has been changed into was and placed after the subject. Are you ready? I was ready. Are you ready? I was ready. Are your parents ready? My parents were ready. Are your parents ready? My parents were ready. Okay. Are you ready? I was ready. Are your parents ready? My parents were ready. A singular was. A plural were. Then a recording was or were. If there is was or were in the question, in the direct question, then was and were should be changed into had been. Was and were both should be changed into had been and placed after the subject. And no change should be made in the verb, in the existing verb. If there is was and were, that was and were should be changed into had been and placed after the subject. And no change should be affected in the verb or verbs being there. See, he said to me, was your brother studying then? Said to ask conjunction if. You see, we need not see the subject. Was had been. and placed after the subject. That's all. No change, no change has been effected in the recording in the verb existing there. Whether it is in present participle or past participle, that doesn't matter. We have no receipt. That verb should not be changed. That verb should be kept as it is. So, was your brother? My brother had been. See, he said to me, was your brother studying then? He asked me if my brother had been studying then. Then, here plural. He said to me, were you studying then? Was your brother studying? Were you studying then? Here was, here were. Here also, said to as conjunction in were had been changed into had been and placed under the subject. That's all. You has been changed to you has been changed into I because you refers to me as we already say. So the answer is he said to me, were you studying then? He asked me if I had been studying then. My dear students, that's we will see. Converting questions, interrogative sentences without WH word, converting questions without WH question words into indirect speech. See, and two main headings. The words, the answer is without WH words. One P verbs, five P verbs, am, is, are, was, were. Another is with the do or do verbs, do verbs, have verbs, then auxiliaries will, shall, would, etc. Must, etc. In the first part, I have given six underhead A, I have given six subjects. One, if there is do or does in the reported part, the do or does should be removed, and the main verb after the subject should be changed into its past tense. What? Whether do or does. Then, if there is a did, the did should be changed into had and placed after the subject, and the verb after the subject. That there is the present tense verb. When there is a did, the verb after the subject will be in simple present tense. So when a did is changed into had and placed after the subject, the simple past tense there should be changed into its past participle. So did you study should be changed into you had studied. Did you study? I had studied. So did should be changed into had and placed after the subject. And the verb that should be changed into its past perfect. So then recording 2 is 7 is one. Then recording had. If there is have and has, it should be changed into had and placed after the subject. Then no change regarding the other verbs. No change regarding the other verbs should be affected. If there is a had in the question, the had should be simply replaced after the subject. That's all. Then no change in other verbs. So have is over. Then the recording will, can, might. They should be changed into will should be will should be changed into would, and can, could, and may, might, and placed after the subject. If there is a shall, it should be changed into would, not into should. It should be changed into would and placed after the subject. And now recording other words, no change should be effected. Shall. Then if there are the auxiliaries would, should, good, might. They should be simply replaced after the subject and no effect and no change regarding other verbs should be done. Then regarding must, if there is must, this must should be changed into had to and placed after the subject and no change should be affected. That's all. And if you, this we will see in under five. I mean five under five heads. I have given these things. Then another branch B regarding viewers. If if there are is, am, is, are, what are those? If there is am, there are two options. Am can be changed into was or were. If the subject of the indirect form, if the subject of the indirect part is in plural, singular, then am should be changed into was. If the subject of the indirect part is plural, then am should be changed into were. So am can be changed either to was or recording the when recording is should be changed into was and placed after the subject. And a recording or it can be changed either into was or were regarding the subject. If the subject of the indirect speech, indirect part is singular or should be changed into was and placed after the subject. If the subject was in plural, then the R should be changed into were and placed after the subject. That's all. And the main part is if there is was or were in the direct versions, was or were should be changed into had been, was had been, were had been. Whether it is was or were, that doesn't matter. And regarding the number of the subjects, whether it is singular or plural, we need not bother about. There should be the was or were should be changed into had been and placed after the subjects. These are the these are very, very important rules. So here in this class we will see the conversion of questions without WH words into indirect speech. My dear students, my dear children, my dear grandchildren, very carefully. What are the rules we got to follow? So regarding the teaching community, there is my, I mean, grandsons, I mean, grandchildren, granddaughters, and sons, and my sons and daughters. But only these people are in service nowadays. Both my brothers and sisters have already got retired. They were only in service. So recording teaching. So we should find out the easiest way of giving things to the learning community. Because teaching is an art. It is what is I mean uh, teaching psychology. The psychology of teaching teaches us that teaching is an art. So the teachers should be molded accordingly, so that then only they could mold their students accordingly. So I thank all of you for watching this class regarding the conversion of direct speech and indirect speech, having the question words. I mean, having the question words uh, without WH words, having the questions without the WH words. We will see. So, okay. Then until I meet you in the next class, I wish all of you a very nice and sweet time. Thank you.